What's up, guys? It is Sunday, so I figured I would get back on the CD collection videos. It has been a little bit. This one would have a few less than what I've been doing, just because with the shift in shelves and the move, I've been doing these in sections of the shelves, and this one where I left off on the last video, like the sections had moved and shifted when I moved the stuff here. So it's still a pretty decent sized stack, and we'll just get into it. I think we're on part 60, maybe. I'm not quite sure. We're still in the F's. First up, I believe this band is out of Italy. Very fitting for this time of the year. Very dark, kind of spooky type stuff. This is Fortis with Pregnant is the Night. This is their debut full length. Came out on Paragon Records. I'm wanting to say back around 2011, 2012. I know it's been out for a little bit. Pretty spooky stuff. It is dark, kind of blackened death metal. I do dig it. There are some atmospheres, like atmospherics, I guess, kind of built into Fortis material as a whole, but it's not over the top atmospherics. There is a lot of brutality in these releases, and this one is just a fantastic debut. The band Fortis has gone through quite a huge amount of lineup changes. I know from the full length to the sophomore album, the vocalist changed within the band. The second album is probably my favorite from them. This is Fortis with My Journey is Ending, but the Torment Will Be Eternal. Very long album title there, but this is probably their darkest release. I do dig this one quite a bit. This is the one that kind of sold me on this band and made me seek out all of their material, made me want everything from them. So, at least all of their full lengths, anyway. This one was also released on Paragon Records. It's been out a little bit. And then I have their latest full length. This one, I'm wanting to say, came out around 2018, if I remember correctly. So they are probably due for releasing some new material. But I dig this one quite a bit as well. This is Deep Melancholic Wrath. Very good stuff on this one. Has a bit more atmospherics in it than this middle album. But I kind of digress. I don't really like saying that it has the atmospherics in it, because I don't want to build it up in your mind as this type of atmospheric blackened death metal, because it's really not. The atmospheres are there just to kind of bring out those emotions and feelings within you, but it is very fast paced at times. But I do dig Fortis, so check them out if you have not done so. Next up, a band out of Kentucky that I absolutely love. This was the album that started it all for me. This is Fortis with Storming Heaven. This came out all the way back in 2014, and I had to look at that twice when I saw it on the back of the disc. It in no way feels like it has been that long that I have been listening to this band. I'm wanting to say I probably discovered this around the 2015 time period, about the time that I was really starting to get this channel going and kind of getting into Bandcamp. I did purchase this one off of Bandcamp and all of those things, but to me, just even that time period feels like it should not be that long ago. I was very taken aback when I saw the date on this. This one is when Fortis was deep into that black and death metal sound. There are some definite death metal vibes going on this particular release. I love this one. It has that non-apologetic feel to it. It's just dark, brooding, fast-paced, melt your face off black and death metal, and I love that. Next up, we have their Fortis's EP entitled Feast for Rats. This followed the Storming Heaven EP. I guess this one is an EP. No, the full length. And I just lost my whole train of thought there. And this one, that you could tell that they were going headfirst into that black metal style. This was kind of the sound shift, the shift in their sound, kind of the change going on. Not like a drastic change, because the black metal was definitely there in their first release, but you could kind of see where they were wanting to head as a band. And I do dig this. It's only 3 tracks long. This was limited to, I believe, 50 copies, and I have number 3. You can kind of see the strings hanging down on that because there was a patch that they put in there when they shipped this out, and I just kind of keep it with the CD. At some point in my life, I am going to finally get a vest. I've been saying that pretty much since I started this channel back in 2015 or so, 2016, and I still have not done so. But one day I am going to get a vest, and I will start putting patches on it. Next up, this one blew me away. I do own this on vinyl and on CD. This is Hymns of Dominion. This is the point where I feel like they really hit their stride. They knew the kind of sound that they were aspiring to create when they put out this Feast for Rats EP, and they just hit it. They hit it out of the park with this one. Very dark, more of that dark, non-apologetic black metal. There are still hints of death metal in their music. They did not abandon death metal completely, but they do lean much farther into the blackened realm of things. From this EP to this album and going forward, everything that I've heard, it's been the black metal has definitely been on the forefront of their material. Then we have their 2020 full length entitled Sulfuric Omnipotence. I loved this album as well. I'm pretty positive this one was on my end of the year list in 2020. Definitely due for another full length from these guys. I hope we get one soon because I definitely am enjoying the progression, and it's been fun when you find a band that you really like kind of early on in their musical career. It's kind of fun just to follow along and see where they go, especially when they're continually putting out music that you actually enjoy. There's some bands that kind of move in a direction and you don't really follow along and you move on to something else. I've enjoyed everything that Fortis has released thus far, so it has definitely been exciting and fun to follow this band along. And then last but not least from Fortis, I have their recent split. I think this came out last year. This is Fortis, and I always butcher this other band, Aufstingen, another black metal project. I believe they're out of the U.S. I do enjoy the Fortis portion of this EP a bit more. They're both bands put on 3 tracks. This was put out by Life After Death and Dark Horizon. A little bit different direction for some of the Life After Death releases, so I was excited to get this on CD. I had it on tape, but I really wanted a CD version, and then Eric at Life After Death, that distro over there, came in clutch, and they did a joint release for a CD copy, and now I have one, so awesome stuff there. Next up, we have some black metal out of Norway. This is a album that I've had in my collection forever, and I still can't decide exactly how I feel about it. There was a definite stylistic change in this band from their debut to this sophomore release, and their debut album had acoustics, had that kind of pagan-esque, almost folky Viking themes going on, and they completely abandoned that in this album, and I think they alienated a large portion of their fan base when they did so. This is Forlorn with Opus 3 Ad Celestius Eus. Very melodic black metal. You can tell just from that album cover that they completely abandoned the Viking themes on this. When I ordered this, it was listed as Viking, something black metal, Viking metal. I mean, this came out ages ago when I ordered this, so just know that I had this in my collection long before I ever even thought of doing YouTube. There was a point where you were kind of blind buying albums. You didn't have the luxury of listening to it before. It was kind of hard to find, especially some of this obscure, more obscure type stuff. And ordered this, looked at that album cover, and I was like, man, did I even order the right thing? And then I listened to it, and it's not a bad album. I don't know if it's just myself, like a lot of other people, were kind of taken aback just from the stylistic change of the music, but I do enjoy it at times for what it is. I don't know. I still haven't, even to today, I still haven't wrapped my head about how much I really either like that or dislike that. So now it just kind of sits on the shelf, unfortunately. Next up, we have some brutal death metal. I'm forgetting where this band is from. I want to say Spain, but at the same time, that doesn't quite seem right to me. This is Formless Terror with Sovereign Chaos Authority. This was released on Severed Records. This album's been out for a while. I believe originally this album was released around 2011, if I'm correct on that. Very fast paced, melt your face off, satanic, brutal, kind of technical, brutal death metal. This album is phenomenal. They had a follow up to this that I wasn't super keen on. I did not enjoy it nearly as much as I enjoyed this debut. But this album, the debut, this one here is absolutely phenomenal. I do dig this. It will melt your face off. It will snap your neck off. And it is just a nonstop assault on your eardrums through its entirety. But it is a fantastic release. Next up, we have a band, I believe they're out of the UK. This is Formicarius with Black Mass Ritual. This album is listed on Metal Archives as just black metal. I definitely feel that it has some mellow death steeped deeply into this. There is definite death metal going on. At times, it feels like the death metal is more prevalent than the black metal. Very melodic, very very fast paced, and it is quite a good listen. They had a follow up to this release that I have not heard yet, but I do enjoy this one quite a bit. I need to kind of seek out some more of their material, but this one is definitely a good listen. Next up, we have some Epic Doom. This is a band I'm wanting to say out of Malta, I believe. This is Forsaken with, I believe it's supposed to be pronounced Dominion, but they have it spelled like Dominion. But very good classic stuff here. This came out in 2005. I don't know why. I think maybe just because this band, the location and geography of this band is one of the reasons they haven't gotten the notoriety and attention that they probably deserve. This could stand side by side with some of the great UK Epic Doom acts. I think if you haven't heard this and you're into some of that Candlemass stuff from early 2000s, even possibly late 90s, I think you could dig this as well. I even maybe bands like Pagan Altar. I do like this. I would like to get some more material. I just went really blurry. I would like to get some more material from Forsaken in the collection at some point. I just haven't sought it out and done that. Next up, we have some Viking metal, pagan black metal. This is Fortis with 9. Is the name of the album there. I got this in a grab bag at one point. It's been a few years ago now. That was a bunch of pagan metal, a bunch of black metal, and this one's pretty good. I don't remember just a ton about it. It came out in 2015. I have had it for quite a while now. I haven't pulled it off the shelf in probably a couple of years, but I do remember enjoying it for what it was. I just think it was a bit kind of that a run-of-the-mill pagan metal release, but at some point I will revisit this and kind of refresh my memory on that. Speaking of needing to refresh my memory, I don't remember this until just looking at it. I don't even know where I got this. This is a band called Fortress of Amplitude, and I believe it's self-titled maybe. I can't read the album title. It's in dark. It says on the back, True San Diegan Black Metal, so I'm assuming it's black metal out of San Diego. I hate doing this. A lot of times when I do these collection videos, I like to at least revisit it a little bit so I can speak on it a little bit more, but I'm going to be completely honest. I really just don't remember much of anything about this. I think it was thrown in as a freebie on a purchase that I made in the past, and I have listened to it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it at this point, so it wasn't just super particularly rememberable to me. Next up, this one I will probably get a little bit of hate just for my general love of this album. This is 40 Watt Sun with the Inside Room. Patrick Walker moving on from Warning and starting up this project. I love pretty much anything that he's involved with. He has one of those voices that can just make you feel the emotions that he's wanting to put across. That you can listen to something that he has composed and he's performing, and you can know exactly how he was feeling, and you can empathize with the way he was feeling while he created that art, pretty much. And this album, this is my favorite that of anything that he's done. I would stack this up over any Warning album that he's been a part of, any of the other 40 Watt Sun catalog. I don't know what it is. I think that the Inside Room just hit me at a point in my life where it just ate me up when I listened to this, and I listened to it over and over and over. And it's one of those albums, as are most of the albums that he does, is that you have to be very careful with, because 40 Watt Sun can take you to a very dark place very fast. It can just transform your mood completely. You have to be in a certain mindset to be able to digest this. And I guess when this came out, I was just in that perfect place in my life where I needed something like this, and it spoke volumes to me when it came out. And it's one of those releases that has just stuck with me forever. It's probably in my top 5 favorite albums ever. So I know that, there's people that don't like this particular album, but for me, this was just the one that did it for me. Moving on from this particular release into the further 40 Watt Sun catalog, they kind of started stepping away from the heaviness, the fuzziness that you could find in this. It was going to more of an acoustic style, and we have that with Wider Than the Sky. I do love this as well. Anything that he does, I mean, he could just sit there, him and his guitar, and sing, and I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. And there's a lot of that on here. He has some session musicians on this as well that sit in and help make the album what it is. I also have his newest release that came out this year. I don't have it with me to show on this video. It is filed away on my 2022 releases, which are on a shelf different from this, but it's entitled Perfect Storm. I do like that one as well. That one, as I was saying earlier, he could just sit with an acoustic guitar and sing, and I'm going to enjoy it. That's what a lot of that album is. He even stepped away from some of the session musicians on that particular release, and it just stripped it down, and it's just him, his emotions, and a guitar, and it's a very powerful release. And then the last one that I'm going to show in this video, we have some Death Doom out of Brazil. This is Fossilization with He Whose Name Was Long Forgotten. Absolutely love this release. I found this EP on Bandcamp way back when the band was releasing the tapes. There were only tapes available. I had a first press copy of the tape. I either sold that or gifted it. I don't remember what I did with that particular tape at the time, because Tito over at Everlasting Spew came in clutch and released a CD copy of this. You guys know I am a CD junkie, but this is just some dark, slowed down death metal, and it is doomy as all get out. I love it. I know that you've probably, if you're watching this, you're probably familiar with this. I know it kind of made the rounds there for a while on YouTube. I know some pretty notable YouTubers were speaking this one up pretty well. I remember Brain Smasher hyping this one up as well. Fantastic release. I do love this one. So thank you, Tito and Everlasting Spew, for putting that one out on a CD copy. That's all I've got for this one. I'm hopefully can get back on doing at least one of these CD collection videos every week, and we're just kind of getting back into the swing of things here. But I will see you guys soon. Stay classy, stay metal, and yeah, that's all I've got.